I think at one point it became apparently common sense that this movie was terrible, although that glorious art design, Roger Pratt's phenomenal cinematography, Tim Burton's direction might be considered a bit hit or miss. There's a certain clunkiness we can note about it now. Jack Nicholson's Joker is very controversial and not for any exciting reasons, for some interesting reasons nevertheless. It's considered the kind of film which fans of the comic books turn their nose up at. Cinephiles seem to turn their nose up at it, even if, or maybe especially if they like the Nolan films. Those who grew up with it cherish it like it's Raiders of the Lost Ark or even one of the original Star Wars films. Legend by Ridley Scott. Okay, not everyone likes that movie. I do. And I have a certain, whether it's my obsession with the photography of Roger Pratt from The Crimson Permanent Assurance, The Sender before that, to Brazil, one of my absolute top favourite films of all time, Mona Lisa by Neil Jordan. The photography on Batman 89, especially given the Blu-ray releases, are a thing to behold. This film was not done justice, especially on VHS, not via television screenings, not via the DVDs either. I think these Blu-ray renditions of Batman 89 bring it out in the way that it was meant to pop back in 1989. I am fond of the ridiculousness that is the Prince soundtrack. I think this film's desire to be so timelessly Batman and yet so relentlessly, kind of aggressively modern for 1989 to the point of dating it, but in a way that is kind of satiating and fascinating novelty to a modern viewer. Well, a contemporary viewer, a viewer from posterity, let's say. Batman 89 is, we could say the superhero film phenomenon is ultimately downstream of Superman 1978, although Superman was more than just a superhero. He was kind of an icon of, in the way that Huckleberry Finn or, Captain Ahab, like it was just, during Superman was just like adapting an American literary classic by that point in time. And you could say the same thing about Batman, although it really, the blockbuster phenomenon had been fully solidified by 1989, and they were determined that everyone's going to be talking about Batman. And I think it's for a consolidation of the blockbuster marketing philosophy really inspired not only the rest of the superhero film genre, but blockbuster films, period, from that point on. I'm very fond of this picture, and I know people are divided about it. I'll stand in the on board with it category just because of all the things people don't like about it. I mean, more or less. Plus, all of the things that they begrudgingly perhaps do.